this video I'm going to show how I use Siril to do basic image processing of DSLR images taken of the night sky with a telephoto lens. You can do much more comprehensive image processing and enhancement with tools like Photoshop and pixinsight, but Siril is free and it's really good for the alignment and stacking kind of steps as well as basic image processing. So the very first thing I do, I select this home icon here and I select a folder. So it's important to kind of select a new folder for a new image you're working on. So I have one here, it's M45. It has 62 images of M45 the Pleiades, and I'm going to use that folder. So I've selected that, and the next thing I do, I work through these tabs in sequence, starting with conversion. So I need to add all my images to the sequence like that, and I'm going to give it a name, M45, select debayer and convert. So this is going to go through all those 62 images, convert them to color images. It just takes a few seconds, and now we have one of the images here and it shows 62 images selected. You have red, green, blue channels and the RGB image here as well. It's converted to color. So because I don't have flat frames or bias frames or dark frames for these images, I'm going to skip this pre-processing step. But if you have flats, you can do that, and I'd recommend doing the debayering in this stage instead. So the next step we're going to do is registration. Register all images, global star alignment, just click go register. So this is really easy. Siril does all the work for you. It finds all the stars and it's going to align all 62 images on these reference stars. Okay, that's complete. So now it has registered or aligned all the 62 images. The next thing here, you can look at the quality of your images. So here are all the 62 images kind of plotted with full width half max here. So this high value here means the stars in this particular image are bloated. I'm going to exclude that one, exclude this one. The rest of them are fairly consistent. So move on to the next stage, stacking, average stacking with rejection. I leave all defaults, start stacking. And what this is going to do is it's going to stack all the 60 images. We've excluded 2. And it's going to average the pixel values and exclude any pixels that are outliers if they're very bright or very dark. So this is good for getting rid of satellite trails, things like that. And that's done. So here's our final result here, stacked M45, the Pleiades. And so now we're going to do some basic image processing with levels and color correction. So what I'm going to do is temporarily, and I have to emphasize temporarily, change this view here of linear to auto stretch. So this gives us a better idea. This is just a view, it's not actually changing the data, so it's very important to change this back to linear when you're finished. So here we are, there's a green color cast, so I'm going to get rid of that first with photometric color calibration. So you have to find the object M45, use a catalog like Simbad, and click OK. This is going to use Sky Survey photometric data to correctly set the color of this image. So that's done. Looks a lot better now. And now you can see the corners are quite dark because we didn't have any flat field correction on this image, on these images. So we want to artificially flatten the field using background extraction. So flat field correction is very important, but if you don't have flat frames, you can do this, and it gives you kind of decent results. Click generate, click apply, and now the auto stretch will give a much better result. So if we had flat field correction, we probably get even better results than this. But so now this is only for visualization. If you click on this image, you get this warning. But if you hold down Control, hold down the Control key, you can zoom in and you can move it around. So like that. So the next thing we're going to do is this temporary auto stretch we did here. I'm going to switch it back to linear, and this is what our image would look like if we saved it now. So we're going to set the levels with histogram transformation. You can do this manually, or the quickest way is just click this button with automatic and apply, close. So it's starting to look a bit better now, and you can do some other stretching with this one. You can start to pull out a bit more detail. This is kind of up to you really, it's subjective. You can increase the color saturation a little bit and like that. You can even selectively increase the color saturation of blue areas like that. Apply. And there's a lot of dust around M45. So, but before I do that, there is some green noise here, so I'm going to remove the green noise. I think this is particularly because a DSLR image, so that looks a bit better. And to increase the dust, you can use this contrast limited histogram equalization. If you do this too much, it looks a bit artificial, over-processed, so I'm just going to do it a tiny little bit like that. And that's it. So that's 60 exposures, each one 60 seconds, aligned and stacked, and some very basic processing in Siril. And you can save your image here by right-clicking, or you can save the actual FITS file here. And that's it. So I definitely recommend Siril for image processing, doing basic processing.